Hello, and welcome back to a fine episode of Nurses Notes. I'm your host, Arlander Martin. I have the privilege of sitting with two of our 4 campus nurses. I would like to welcome back Mrs. Maura Fredwell, our high school nurse, and Mrs. Jackie Zimmer, our junior high nurse. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having us back.
Absolutely. So in episode 1, we learned a lot from you two, and thought our listeners would love to hear more from you. We got a great response from Nurses Notes 1, so with that, let's find out some more information from you two.
Okay. Are you sure people listened to the first episode?
Yeah, how many views did we have? Are we really popular?
I'm not entirely sure on that information. But
Get back to us. That's fine.
Yeah, I will absolutely do that. Okay. So we have some interview questions from the intermediate school nurse and a few from just certain scenarios that we came up with in the studio. So the first question for you girls is, my child woke up vomiting or with a fever in the middle of the night. They feel better when they woke up. Can I send them to school?
Hard no.
Yep, hard no.
Okay. Why is that a hard no?
Go ahead.
So the student needs to be fever-free for at least 24 hours without the use of Tylenol or ibuprofen. That's just going to mask their fever for temporarily, and they could still be contagious with something. They can still be passing their germs along to others. So just as a parent, just call them in, let us know what's going on, and please just keep them home for at least 24 hours. And I know that that's hard, especially with the younger kids, because they can bounce back so quickly, but really it's just helping to protect them and then everyone else also from other illnesses.
And
Awesome.
that goes with like vomiting and diarrhea as well. So we want that to be vomit-free, diarrhea-free for 24 hours. And I'm sorry that I sound like I have a frog in my throat.
Do you have a fever?
I don't have a fever. I have not had any vomiting or diarrhea in the last 24 hours. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Well, it's good to know that you two are okay.
Yes, we are healthy currently.
So our second question is, the nurse called me to let me know that my child needs a refill on their prescription medication. Can I send that to school with my student?
No, you cannot. This medication needs to be brought in by a parent or an adult. And then there's a process that we do when the medication comes into our office as far as verifying how much we're receiving, and the other adult verifies with us. And we have a form to sign for them and us, just making sure we're on the same page.
It's really just a safety concern, too, just to keep controlled prescription medications in the hands of adults, and then we can communicate all that together.
Yep, and then making sure that you are bringing the most recent prescription bottle so we have the most up-to-date information.
And that it matches the order that the doctor has written, because sometimes they change doses or medications throughout the year. So we just need to make sure that everything matches.
Yep.
Awesome. Our third question for today is, my student has outgrown his clothing, but they're still in good shape. I don't want to donate to Goodwill. Can I use them at school? And I know this is a big bringer up with definitely smaller kids who are growing up very fast, definitely teenagers who are just, growing out of their clothes, having growth spurts. So using these clothes, definitely need to put them somewhere.
Yeah, this is a great question. Of course, we can use clothes. We, at the high school level, we don't get this very often. I do like having pants, especially on hand for particularly girls. They like black leggings a lot.
So I'm in charge of the clothes closet at the junior high. And so I would say definitely I would take donations. At the junior high, we have all sizes of kids. So anything, I would say definitely the black leggings is the first to go. The girls really don't like the LuLaRoe design crazy leggings that they have to wear when they get dress coded, but that's what we got. So, if you have clothes to bring, I think that would definitely help, but we would be open to it. And then if we don't need something, then we can donate it farther. So, yeah.
Awesome. I didn't even think of dress coding. How many people do you think you get dress code a day?
Depends what season. When it starts getting warm out, or when I would say warmer weather, you get the short shorts.
Crop tops.
Crop tops have to cover up with a jacket or a different shirt. Right now, I would say on average, I would go weekly. I'm probably see 5 to 6 girls possibly a week. That could be aggressive number, but for dress coding, it's mainly for jeans that have the super like ripped jeans and it's too high up. So like I can almost see their underwear.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, like don't wear those to school.
No.
So, yeah, there's consequences for that. And that's LuLaRoe, really excessive, bright colored leggings. So you've earned it.
So we've already covered, are there any clothing items that you could use specifically for, leggings and sweatshirts, just like cover-ups?
Yep, sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sweatpants, black leggings.
So do you guys take any donations aside from clothing?
I have. I've taken like maxi pads, like pads for girls. I've taken
Deodorant, like the mini size hygiene products.
And prepackaged sealed toothbrushes and like unused toothpaste. Kids like those, especially kids with braces or
Underwear, socks,
Yes.
unused underwear and socks.
gross.
Yeah.
Yes,
Could get weird.
unused underwear, brand new underwear is a big thing that you don't always think about. But I'm almost out of my stock at the high school.
And we do get a small budget, like the nurses for all 4 schools, we get a small budget and we all, depending on our school needs, we will use it differently, but we run out. So
It is nice to have on hand for those like emergent situations, especially for like the high school girls. It's really nice to have just to feel fresh and clean and to feel more comfortable at school. It's
to not have to miss school because of it.
Yeah, and we don't want anyone feeling uncomfortable while they're here.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So the next question we have is, do you have any time management tips for other nurses or just anyone in general that people could benefit from?
I'm pretty OCD when it comes to like making lists. Like if you come to my office, I have sticky notes everywhere with different lists and I'll compact all those sticky notes into one list and then it will get divided out again and what I need to do. But then if I'm looking at that list, I can constantly prioritize what I need to be doing first. And I think when I worked in the emergency room, it was taught to me that you constantly are reassessing what needs to be done right this second. Constantly reassessing. So that's how I'm able to do it because I can just brain dump onto a sticky note and then figure out where it fits into what I need to do.
Yeah, I start my week with like things that I want to get done through the week, and then I'll just randomly be able to cross those off. As you've already seen, I can get distracted by students coming in and what have you. So I have to write everything down.
Yeah.
And then again, like we said too, the time management skills are really important, and it's just different between the school and the hospital. But writing it down always, or else you'll just forget it and be like, oh, what was that? Oh, and then I have sticky notes. I have a lot of sticky notes too. And I'm a list maker, and I love, like, sometimes I will write something that I've already done down on my list just so I can cross it off.
Yep.
And then I feel more productive.
You're like,
The
yes,
little
I did that.
I'm like, okay, I got
Even
so
though
much
I
done
didn't really
today.
need to write it.
Yeah.
I need to take some mental notes on this.
Yeah.
Write it down, not mental notes. You got to write it down.
Yeah. When you write it down, it is ingrained in your head a little bit better. I would say.
And make sure you can read it, because you're like, what did I say?
Even if you take notes on your phone, like the iPhone has like a note thing. And so my husband and I have a constant grocery list for all the different stores. So I have like Costco, Sam's Club, Aldi, Kroger, Meijer, Walt, like every store that we could ever possibly visit. And we have it constantly running and it goes between us. So then we can cross off like, oh, I stopped at Walmart real quick. I went ahead and grabbed all these. So it's already disappeared off the list. So that's nice.
Awesome.
I don't do that. Maybe I should.
We also have a calendar that like links to each other. So
Well, we have that. We
Okay,
also
good.
like Amazon.com.
Oh, yeah.
Be there
that's true.
tomorrow.
I like the categorizing of stores because usually when I write a grocery list, it's like I just write everything
In
that I
one
need,
list.
and then I don't even think about where I'm going to get it from.
Yeah.
So categorizing it into stores is actually really cool.
Well, I do that because there's certain things I like from certain stores.
Oh,
So like I
yeah.
have certain snacks that my kids like, and they only like it from like Aldi. and they have, a better price or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it under Aldi. So then I have an Aldi list already ready when I'm ready to go there.
Oh, yeah. And especially, I go to Martin's a lot to do homework and school and stuff like that.
Do you get a discount at Martin's?
No.
Oh, boo.
You should. Get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Nice.
But I know that there's a few Martin's specific things, like they make their own like snack mixes and stuff. So I definitely understand the specifics of store. So
Yeah.
All right. So our next question: what are the most important lessons that you've learned from your career as a nurse?
Gut feelings are real.
Trust your gut for sure. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah. We always phone a friend.
I think in the hospital, you're never alone. At the school, we're the only medical person typically in the school. So we really have to rely on our past experiences and past
People
yeah.
to help us. Like I've even like phoned a friend that I used to work with in the ER, like, hey, I'm going to run this scenario by you type of thing. I do that whether it's like my family or like students. Like, hey, I've got this kid. They've got this weird rash. Have you seen anything like this or that type of thing?
Yeah, our biggest one is trust your gut. Jackie had written down to continue to assess.
Yeah.
Never stop. It's hard. Like I never stop assessing someone, and I'll be walking down in the hallway, and I'll see someone
That you saw earlier in the day.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, you're walking on your foot completely fine after you saw me 3 times because your foot, you thought you needed to be amputated because it was hurting you so bad. It happened this morning. So
yeah, or vice versa. You'll see someone that looks worse, and you're like, come back to see me.
You need
Like,
to see me again.
Let's talk about this some more.
Yeah.
Awesome. Our next question: have you done any volunteer work? If so, what was it like?
So I have not done any medical volunteer work. Like my cousin is a super awesome nurse, and she just went overseas and helped out like that way. I've never done anything to that caliber. I volunteer my time at my church's foster closet just once every other month, and where people donate used clothes for foster children. So I help out with that, the foster closet. I also serve in my at the kid ministry at my church. Those are kind of the only volunteer things that I do. If you want to count this as volunteer, I'm going to be a T-ball coach, hopefully this summer. I try to get
trying
Jackie.
to recruit me, and I'm like,
it's okay. I found someone. You're
good.
off the hook.
I'm off
You're
the hook.
Totally off the hook. Yeah.
Woo.
Those are the only volunteer things that I've done.
Well, that's awesome. I know a bunch of parents will take in time. I know that my mom especially has been a band mom for 3 years, 2 years now. So
Yeah.
definitely volunteering your time for your kids is we appreciate it so much. And, it's great.
Oh, that's so nice.
I feel like I'll probably do more with my kids once they start getting a little older.
Mm-hmm.
I did this past year at our church volunteer for like the kids camp. Our church was putting on their own kids camp by themselves instead of having like a company come in. So they were looking for volunteers, and preschoolers could get like the camp for free if the parent volunteered. So I volunteered, and then I mean, it was a good thing. But I just like let the director know, like, oh, by the way, I'm a nurse. I don't know if that's helpful to you. And she goes, yep, now you're the camp nurse. And I was like, okay, I don't know what I just got myself into. But it was actually really fun. I got to know a lot of people at church, got to dive into that side of things, and very minimal injuries happened. Like we had like water slide injuries and stuff like that. But no, it was a lot of fun. So I did that. And then every Sunday that I'm at church, like during service, they have like a medical like personnel, like whoever is at church, like basically you like log in or check in that you're there in case there's a medical emergency during service. So I do that. And usually I'm the only person during second service, which is kind of scary, but
So you're like on call.
yeah, basically.
So was that any different than nursing by yourself at the junior high, or?
Nothing's happened so far, at least during service. Are you talking about like during summer camp?
Yeah, during camp.
Yeah, I would say like it was a lot younger kids. I think it was only up until I want to say 4th grade. So it's not like the age level I usually work with. So I had to be a little nicer with the way I talked to them and things like that. But it was really fun because like where they had set my table up was right across from the preschool room. So I got to watch my kid like all day. And I got to go do tie-dye with him and go to the different stations with him. So that was really fun.
Awesome. So they bribe you to become a camp nurse and you get to have some fun with your son.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun week.
Awesome. Our last question for today is, how do you keep up with the latest information in your field?
So as a school nurse, we have monthly school nurse webinars that are assigned by the Indiana
State. The state of Indiana. It's okay.
The state of Indiana.
No editing. No editing that out.
Sure, why
that
not?
was great.
We have yearly Moodles, and yes, exactly. I see your face, and we
What is
wrote
a
down
Moodle?
what's a Moodle. I'm like, how do we explain what Moodles are? So Moodles are online courses.
Yep.
That we
Are expected to do yearly.
and they're just like review courses. Like there's one on emergency care for children. There's one on
Diabetes,
seizures,
asthma. What else? There's one about school nursing.
community health, nursing. There's a lot.
There's another one about like all the laws about school nursing in Indiana. That one,
I
that one's
actually
heavy.
enjoy them because they're very.
It's a good refresher.
It's a really good refresher just to go over them again. You have to pass their tests at the end of them.
like
so you have to watch
like
pay
almost
attention.
100%. You have to pass their tests, and they're hard. They're hard.
Other than that, that's for school nursing. I'm also the CPR instructor for the district, so I have to renew that every 2 years. There's a school nurse seminar in the summer that they kind of paused that for COVID for a while, but I think it's coming back this year. That would be fun.
Usually it's held in, I think, Indy.
In Indy, yeah. That would be fun if we had a couple of us go and
see what it's about.
Yeah.
And then we just have like resources online that we can constantly go to and look at. And then we have a school nurse, what is she, like a representative that I have emailed this. Yeah, she's like high up there, but she's like the top of school nurses. She knows everything. Literally, I've emailed her, and within 20 minutes, I'm getting responses. Like, she's quick. She's on it. She knows her stuff.
I think
she's
she
awesome.
used to work with Jan. Did she work with Jan? Like one of our
Mrs. Dean.
Mrs. Dean. The old elementary.
They're buddies. So
Yeah.
Jan always told me, just talk to her, and I get responses real quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say that's pretty much our latest information.
Yeah, for school nurses.
Awesome. Do you this is going to sound really awful. Do you ever have to Google something?
Oh, yeah.
And
like rashes.
But yes.
I like to see the rash. Like, I want to compare and contrast. I can't normally find what I have in front of me.
I like to Google, but you have to be really careful with Google.
Yep.
You have to know what sites are going to be right,
what's reliable.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much. Unfortunately, that is all the time we have for Nurses Notes 2. I would love to thank you again for your time.
Well, thank you, Orlando.
You did amazing.
You did so well.
Thank you, guys. Once again, I'm your host, Orlando Martin. We're at the Boggle Broadcaster Studio in Jimtown High School. I'd like to thank our nursing staff and listeners for tuning in. I would like to thank all of the Boggle Broadcaster staff and our tech department for doing the magic behind the curtain. Thank you so much, and have a nice day. Keep listening for more.